This is a double lock on the Ohio Erie Canal. I'm Darren, and this is the Industrial Revolution. So I'm in Coshocton, Ohio, at the site of a double lock, and this is not even the worst of it that we have here in Coshocton. If you're navigating a canal boat, this lock is far easier than that one. But let's look at this one first. So as we bring our canal boat in here into the lock, coming into the first chamber of two, you can see the canal gates are here. The level we're walking on is probably still up above the original floor level. Remember, we have 4 feet of water in the lock here. And the original stone walls put in here in the early 1800s. Coming through the lock, you see the sill at the far end, and you see the stone walls climb. That climb led to the second lock chamber. You went directly from the first lock chamber into the second lock chamber. Now, they only have one lock here, they don't have two parallel lanes. And that means that when you came into the first lock chamber, you'd have to wait. The second lock chamber had to be emptied so that you could go into it. As you climb out of here, this is where the second lock would be, but most of the second lock is gone. You see, we still have the walls from the second lock. As soon as you exited the second lock, of course, and we do have the insets here for the lock gates to sit in here. Most of these rocks, again, are missing. You'd leave the upper lock chamber and you would cross over this bridge. And yes, this really was a bridge at the time. This was an aqueduct. And the floor of this bridge, the bed of it that we're walking on now, was basically about where the floor of the original aqueduct was. This lets you get over the river here, and this is, I believe, the Walhonding River. Unless you get over the top of the river, cross the river, get to the other side, and continue on your way. Remember, there's about 4 feet of water here. This is about the width. It's the width of the lock. It's about the width of the canal boat, so only one boat could be on here at a time. And with 4 feet of water, that puts the water up to just about the top of the handrail height. So this was a mostly wooden aqueduct, and that of course means that it had to be repaired from time to time. But as we look over at the sides, we can see the heavy stonework up ahead. And the stonework up ahead is original, and that was the landing point for the canal off the end of the aqueduct. And the canal continued on beyond on its way. Stonework, of course, is on both sides. As it juts out and is tapered in, you get that buttressing here. That allows the side of the stonework to catch any debris coming down the river. And if you're wondering, well, how much debris could there possibly be coming down the river? This is what comes down rivers. I'm out here on May 1st, and this is the debris that these old bridge supports have caught recently. That's nothing new, so the aqueduct had to stand up to all of that abuse back when it was built here. But for now, let's go take a look at what is even worse than this for the canal boat captains. As we look across the mill pond, we can see what's worse than a double lock, a triple lock. So we're now coming down the Walhonding Canal towards the Ohio and Erie Canal. This is Lock 3 at the far end of the canal, just before we meet up with the Ohio and Erie Canal. You'll notice this is actually a triple lock. And that means that we move into the first lock here, in lock number 3, the first lock chamber. And you just walked past where the gates would have been for this chamber and move on to the end of this lock chamber. So far, everything with this canal is perfectly normal, just like you would normally see in a lock. Now we have another set of gates. And you see the sill down here with the angled piece on it. The gates would close up against that water level drops. And we move into the next lock. There's only one set of gates here because once the gates that we're at are closed and the water lowers, there's really no reason to have another set of gates at the beginning of lock number 2. And looking down here, you can see through lock number 2 at the far end, there's only one set of gates before you go into lock number 1. The end of lock number 1 also has one set of gates. So this was effectively a single string of gates. You have a total of 4 gates and a string of 3 locks between them. And this actually creates some serious problems for canal boat captains. Let's talk about why that is. So what is it that actually makes a triple lock like this such a nightmare for the canal boat captains? Well, if you think about it, in a single lock, we just have like one single standard lock chamber. You have a boat come in on the low end, into the lock, it raises up, it goes out, a boat at the high end comes in, it goes down, it goes out, a boat in the low end comes in, goes up, and it goes out. And every time the lock cycles, either direction, you've moved one boat completely through the lock system. You get a triple lock like this though, you have a boat come in from the bottom and you have a boat waiting at the top. Well, this boat has to cycle this lock, has to go into the next lock, you have to cycle this lock, you have to go into this lock, you have to cycle this lock, and then you have to go out. And at best, let's say you're running a series of boats up. So you run one in, so run it in, up. Now the first lock is in the up position. Bring this one over, move this lock down, and while this one's going up, and you kind of like stagger them. And at best, you can get 50% efficiency, one direction only. Now, what if you have boats that want to come down? Well, if there's a boat going up on that chain, you can't also bring one down. So you have to clear all 3 locks up and then bring boats down. It's sort of like if you are driving on a 2-lane road, 2 directions, and construction closes 1 lane. And you have a flagman out there and traffic just backs up and backs up and backs up while all this traffic goes. And then this traffic gets blocked. And then all this traffic goes, and then they block this traffic, all this traffic goes, and it really slows things down. As a canal boat captain, you'd enter lock 1 from the mill pond. You probably turned off onto this canal from the Ohio and Erie Canal, maybe having loaded or unloaded passengers and cargo in either Roscoe Village or Coshocton. You transition through the series of 3 locks, sometimes called a flight of locks, but you're doing it way slower than I'm walking along here today. Each lock would take you at least a few minutes to get through, so this set of 3 could pretty easily take you a good 10 to 15 minutes. And that's after any delay that you already experienced while waiting your turn to get into the locks here in the first place. You've probably noticed that the bottom of these locks is tapered in. I hadn't seen this before, but it's something which was done in part to help with water management, but even more, especially on flights of locks like this one, it was done to improve the structural stability of the locks. Tapering at the bottom helped to make the walls more solid. Well, I tried to find out here just how much things slow down with the triple lock here, the double lock, which is just across the pond here at the bottom, and nobody seems to have an answer to that. What I do know is over in Lockport, New York, on the Erie Canal, over there they actually have 5 locks, 5 that go up, and right next to it they have 5 different locks that come down. So traffic is only one way. So they do get 50% efficiency there. But the delays were so bad that at times you'd have a 2 to 3 day delay to get your canal boat through. Now that 2 to 3 day delay would actually kind of bore your passengers. Your passengers would then wind up looking for something to do. So the town of Lockport actually sprang into existence. There was nothing there before. And you wound up with people that were opening up restaurants and hotels and brothels, and even a whole opera house opened up there just to basically entertain the needs of the people who were on the canal boat stuck waiting for the locks to open up for them. And I'm sure something like that happened here, probably to a smaller degree, but it did no doubt happen. So did this all happen politely? Well, no. There's something called, today we'd call Canal Rage that happened. Just like modern railroads, passenger boats had the right of way on the canal, always. Just like passenger trains today have the right of way on rail lines, always over freight. And just like today, the freight lines ignored it completely, and the passenger lines often had to wait. So the canal boats often had to wait with the passengers on them. This led to Canal Rage incidents. It led to fights, especially among the hoggies. These were the people that led the teams of mules and teams of horses. These were often young boys, sons of the canal boat captain typically. And one of those hoggies was a guy named James Garfield, somebody you may have heard of. Later went on to become president. He got in a fight. He fell in this canal, in fact. Fortunately, most of the canal is only dug to 4 feet deep because Garfield didn't know how to swim. But he was okay. He got out okay and survived it. But yeah, that was a definite problem here. So locks like this, especially when you get a chain of locks, these things could just be nightmares for the canal boat captains, but it could be a boon for any town that grew up around them. That's why places like this are the Industrial Revolution. How bad it was? Well, it depends. I asked here and I wasn't able to get an answer for just how much of a delay. When you start looking at chains of locks like this without pools in the middle, and some locks did actually put pools in the middle of them if they had the space for it, you bring a boat in. Hey, wait, before you go, I need your help to keep going here. So as you can see, I'm out here today in Smoky Mountains, filming on location. Almost every video I do is on location, and unfortunately that's not cheap. So if you could help me out, I'd really appreciate it. There's some easy ways to do that. First way to help me out is completely free. Just hit like and subscribe. and share this video with your friends. Draw more people to the channel. That's great. That helps a lot. Also, you can comment. I love reading the comments, and I've had some great ideas from those comments, in fact. Finally, if you can help out on Patreon, Industrial Revolution at patreon.com/Industrial Revolution, or hit Super Thanks, or something I just added just before recording this. Have a affiliate store set up on the link to the video on the channel or on the closing screen here. Hit the shop button. That'll take you out to my webpage. Follow any of those links out to Amazon or other sites, and the channel will get a percentage of your entire purchase, even if you don't purchase that thing you look at. So lots of cool stuff over there. All of those really help the channel out a lot. Thanks for coming again and watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.